Welcome back to NYSE TV Live. Well, this past Thursday, the NYSE partnered with NightDragon to co-house Cyber Live from New York, which put a spotlight on cybersecurity leadership, innovation, and the protection of vital institutions. JD Durkin sat down with NightDragon's chief executive, Dave DeWalt, who broke down the key takeaways from this year's event and explained why New York is emerging as a hub for innovation in the space.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm really thankful for the partnership with NYSE and ICE and the whole relationship we built. So it's wonderful. But what's happened is we've seen a lot of shift in where all innovation happens in the world. And for many years, we think Silicon Valley, Silicon Valley, Silicon Valley. And then we think, the Beltway and Washington, D.C. with defense tech. But New York is becoming a major epicenter, particularly for security companies, physical security, safety, areas that you wouldn't typically think. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's like threat environments here, but the public-private partnership's amazing here. The governor is amazing here. And we're just watching a lot of, ability to bring the ecosystem to New York. So having Cyber Live from New York kind of made sense because this is where it's happening.
What is one reality about cybersecurity innovation that you, Dave DeWalt, you would want more people watching this to know about?
The biggest thing is AI, right? I keep saying AI agentic, whatever way you want to say that. But we're seeing the power of AI really in three big areas. One area is processing data, right? Machine learning, AI, just because the more data we can process, the better we can be prepared to react to a threat or a risk that's happening. So NVIDIA's brought us GPUs, Quantum's bringing us QPUs, processing data really matters. AI is doing that, but also speed of response. So agentic processes can really help as well, where we're able to respond to threats quicker and more autonomously to what's going on. And then the other area is just scaling people, humans. So the more of these, humans that we can have interacting, the more bots helping the humans interact, the faster we can respond. So the first time I'm very optimistic. After 25 years, JD, doing this, I'm feeling like the technology edge is coming to the defense, coming to cyber, and coming to New York right here in this little world. So it's wonderful to see.
Dave, what are the biggest challenges to the cybersecurity landscape today that the average person might not even be aware of?
Nation states, right? We're seeing just so much activity, geopolitical tensions around the world, JD. You can see it in the news every day. That really spawns a lot of cyber and digital attacks. But another thing that's happened is this thing called crypto and blockchain. And what's happened is a lot of anonymous attacks and payment models using ransomware. So we're watching ransomware attacks literally almost every minute of every day. And that's too much, especially in hospitals and universities. We just saw a big one on Aflac, one of the biggest insurance company, by Scattered Spider. Gotta love the names. But ransomware, nation states, and threat actors, and the Chinese attacks are up 200% year over year. And this is just 1 year, and the Chinese attack models have grown a lot. So for the average person watching, we're seeing a really increasing threat environment that really is dangerous. And that's what keeps us up at night. But all this technology hopefully can help us too. So it's a battle.
Tell me about the ways that you are betting on some of these amazing AI startups that are here at the New York Stock Exchange with us today.
We love it. So NightDragon does investments in advisory and security tech. And the whole security tech industry, we think, is just booming. And, for a lot of good reasons. Our motto is secure the world for tomorrow. So that's what we're all about, is can we find companies that we can invest into that can make a difference in the world? And can they solve a problem? Misinformation, disinformation, maybe from space, maybe drones, counter drones. What can we do to make a difference in the world? And we've been deploying hundreds of millions of capital, now billions of capital, to kind of help that problem. And many of them are here in New York. In fact, 6 of them right here in New York.
How are you investing in both physical and cyber risk solutions?
Yeah, the world's coming together. So it used to be cyber was kind of its own domain. And people would think of domains like space, air, oceans, land, and cyber. But what's happened is it's fusing together. So cyber problems are in space and air and oceans and land today. So cyber and physical is one of the areas of fusion that we're seeing. But how do we start to stop physical threats with cyber technology, or stop cyber problems with physical security solutions? And this is where the world's coming together. There's a really cool company here called Data Miner that's we're talking about as well, that does both cyber and physical event management. And this helps solve some of those problems.
What do you see as being some of the next big innovation themes that you're following that maybe the rest of us should be paying a little bit more attention to?
Yeah, besides AI, quantum. Like this quantum is coming fast to a theater near you, I like to say. And a lot of people think, well, quantum's still a little further out, but it's really coming now. We're watching the world of security be what's called PQC, or post-quantum encryption problems. So we're trying to figure out how to stop that. The Chinese have gotten ahead of us in some areas of quantum. And if they could break our communications and our capabilities to communicate using quantum, we have to fix that. So in a world of post-quantum, we need next generation encryption, next generation ways to communicate from land to space. And this is a world where quantum is gaining a lot of traction. In fact, there's quite a few public companies now dedicated to quantum. And I think this market is going to be a game changer as well, both for security, but both for listings and opportunities for public companies.
Dave, how do you ensure that the good guys leveraging this tech are always at least one step ahead of the cyber threat actors?
It's a hard job. It's, after 25 years of this, offense and defense are very challenging to keep up with. And, having run FireEye and Mandiant and McAfee in my different companies, I always feel like I'm a little behind the offense. But, this is where public-private partnership matters, governments working together, private industry working together, all nations working together. I always say cyber is a team sport. The more we work together, the better the outcomes. So here we are.
All right, thanks again to NightDragon CEO Dave DeWalt and J.D. Durkin for that interview.